Hey there. So I just wanted to make a little editing video. I've been getting some interest in um, editing process, and I know a lot of you are working through getting prepared for the season, and I thought this would be a great way to just kind of share my process, and maybe it can inspire yours. So I have a little sneak peek from an engagement session from over the weekend on Mackworth Island. These two were the cutest, and I've already applied my base 2023 preset, and so we're going to go from there. So first, what I'm going to do to save time is I'm going to sync my presets, and so I just make sure that crop is unchecked, um, and then usually I'll uncheck masking, and then any brushes or anything like that, but that looks like that's all good. And so then I will sync, and this way the preset applies to all the photos, and that just saves me some time. So first things first, I'm gonna adjust the exposure on this one, and then I'm gonna crop in just right here, maybe. And I really like to use this little preview window to kind of get an idea of what I want. And I didn't realize before that this photo is out of focus, so I might use a different one. So actually, I'm going to remove it um, because I think that out of focus can be done in a fun way, which I'll show you later. But I think this one there's another one that I'll pull in later that just looks a little better. But this is good. So same thing. I'm using my kind of rule of thirds to pull your attention to her face in this top third of the photo and just kind of get this here. I think I'm actually going to crop it in even further, something like that. Yeah, that's a lot stronger, I think. There's just no need to have things in the photo that don't need to be in the photo. I really love that. They were so cute. They like jumped up on this bridge and it was very cute. So, this one's a little hard. There are no actual, there's not really a white besides the one that's by the blue, and I don't want to choose that, I don't think. So, again, I'm using my preview and I'm just gonna like pull this around until things look maybe just a little bit warmer. Maybe like there. Yeah, that looks good because I want things to be consistently the same tones. So I'll pull this back just a little bit, but I think that looks good. And then from here, I'm just going to crop this one just a little bit to take out any distracting lines. Um, but yeah, they were the cutest. Okay, piggyback stuff. So fun with the faces that you get from it. Okay, so this one, same thing. The white's a little bigger here, so I am going to pull from it. And that's just like a little too warm for me. So I'm going to crop that in even further. That's good. I might leave that one in. I might take it out. He looks a little pained. But this one, I always have a backup, I guess is my thing here. So crop, exposure, and then um, white balance. Get it to a point where I like it. I think this is really fun. I think I'll crop it in even more. Let's see what it looks like actually really, really, really cropped in. That's kind of fun. I like that a lot because then her hands aren't like there's some hands doing things here, but I think their expressions kind of make up for that. Okay, so exposure, crop. Sometimes I feel like I do these things out of order, um, but it's fine. It's fine. Good. We'll warm that up. Right there, I think is good. Okay. And so we're getting to the point in the session, we're getting to be, I think it was like an hour before sunset, where the light's starting to fall nicely behind them. And I'm going to show you what I do in this situation. So I'm just going to pick a radial gradient, and we're just going to make a little oval sort of here, kind of like this. I'm going to turn off this annoying red mark. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this over to maybe like 48 might be good. Maybe I'll leave that at 0, and then I'm going to saturate it. And so here, let me pull it so you can see what it does. And I'm going to keep it maybe just right there. And I'm going to pull it even more up because I just wanted to give the illusion. I don't want everything to be oversaturated. I just wanted to give like a little light leak. Look, and this is one of my favorite ways to add warmth into a photo without using the saturation or um, color balance sliders and things that like kind of overdo it. And so you can change, like you can change this, and you can change the shape of this, and what this affects is your feathering. And so you can use that to kind of make this effect more prominent or less by using this sort of like feather technique. See that kind of subtle, that's not so subtle, but subtle difference will make it look a little more intentional. So I'm going to put that there. And then I think what I'm going to do, so I'm going to click out of here. And then I'm going to bring up the shadows on this one just a little bit because I don't want it to be too dark over here and light over here. Great, I think that's awesome. And we're in the same sort of scene here and the light's starting to be consistent. So I'm just going to click previous because that's going to do everything to this photo that it did to the last one, including that little radial filter. And so sometimes the radial filter kind of moves around and messes up a little, but oh, can I click on it? Well, technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can click on it. Click on it there. I just wasn't versed with that in the new Lightroom stuff. So with this one, yeah. So what I say or what I think is if you're ever questioning whether something is going to look good or something, and something that photography professors always told me was take it and crank that slider like all the way. So let's get out of this. Let's say that I didn't know the white balance that I wanted to choose for this. Your eyes have they're really good at kind of predicting or being able to tell what looks right or looks pleasing visually. So what you can do if you're like questioning things, does the skin tone, are these okay, is just take the slider and like completely change it and go back and forth and go back and forth, like go all the way and bring it to a point where you're like, oh, um, that looks good. And then if I click undo, I can see that I was pretty spot on there. When I just did it with my eyes instead of using the color correction button. So if you're ever like, I don't know what this is going to look like, or, boosting your clarity, any of these sliders, you can just pull them around because, we're in a digital world and everything can be changed and undone. And I think it's really fun to experiment. And that's how you're really going to hone in on your editing style. So feel free to give that a go. Okay, previous here. This one's pretty. I kind of tried to do the slow-mo thing. think it was too fast for this one because I was just kind of getting into it. So I'm going to remove this one. I did it here. I don't know. I'm trying to experiment with the slow-mo thing. What do you guys all think about it? I feel like it's just showing things in black and white, and I don't know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's fun and artistic, and like I understand all that goes into it, but I think sometimes it's hard to get that image. And it's hard to get that image that like feels good. So anyways, I'm gonna leave that. I might send it to the couple. I might not. I might just wait. Because I think it was still a little too bright out, and with the lens that I was using, I just don't think it captured it the right way. I kind of love this one though. They were being super funny and silly, and um, I think this is good. But you know what slow shutter shows you is where you have dust on your sensors. So if you're watching this in the beginning of your season, now is a really great time to go get your camera gear cleaned, which I will be doing so that I can do this because like something like this is pretty fixable. Oh, that looks so scary up close. Um, but sometimes the dust is in spots where it's a little harder to work with. And then, okay, so this one is kind of fun. It's kind of got a nostalgic feel to it, I think. And it's out of focus, but I was trying to shoot through like I had like a leaf out and was kind of like tilting it onto my lens, I think. And this kind of, this is kind of what happened. And something that I know is I definitely want to use this one for social media. So I'm going to make a copy of it because got to use those vertical images on socials. And I'm just gonna, I don't think I need much of his arm in there. This one's a hard one. I think it's just so much stronger as a horizontal image. But we'll leave that. We'll leave that there. Um, and we'll see. We'll see if you see these on social media, the the ones that I'm questioning. Um, all right. I love a good wide shot. I'm a real big stickler for making sure my horizon is straight. And if you don't know, there's a few tools that you can use to kind of really like make sure that's good. So you can use, I just did it by hand, but you can use this angle tool to just, if you've got a really strange coastline or something like that, you can use that. And then um, making sure they are just in the middle. And so, okay, what I'm going to do on this photo is I'm going to use new Lightroom stuff, AI, which I am a big fan of. It's, you know, it's kind of scary, but it's also a really, really cool new tool and it does a pretty good job. It kind of grabbed some rocks too, but does a really good job. And if you want to like learn more about how AI can help your business in terms of like social media and helpful automation and content, I have a freebie for that as well. So be sure to grab that. Okay, so again, I'm going to turn off that. I'm going to just increase, I'm going to reset, double click to reset. And I'm actually going to use this so I can be really, really gentle with things. And I'm going to pull my black point down just a little bit. And I think I'm going to leave that there. And then I'm going to make another one that is the background. Great. And then, so it was still a little bright. The sun was still way up in the sky, but I like shooting at that time of day. But I'm just going to adjust things a little bit here. I still want it to look faded, but we'll just bring, and I still like to have my white point pretty clear. Okay, great. Exit out of that. And then I'm going to choose the white of her dress. Nope, that didn't work. I'm going to do it by hand, and I'm just going to warm things up just a little bit. I think I am going to do the dehaze button a tiny bit. Great, I think that looks good. Okay. So first things first, exposure. Love this. Love her hair. Her hair was so pretty. If you got wind, just have yourself be positioned downwind from them. And if one of the partners in your couple or both of them have long flowing hair or even like clothing or dresses, having that like in the frame or having that in the frame and like out here like this, like that kind of really brings your eye in and is just like a fun way to kind of frame your couple. So I just want to bring the whites and everything down a little bit because her mouth is kind of get blown out. But let's see. Yeah, again, I'm just seeing what everything looks like when it's brought all the way down. I don't want to crush them too high. She's got a tattoo there. I'm just checking for like hair, like he's got this hair in front of his eye, which I'm all about the flowy hair, but when it's in front of eyes, it really bothers me because it breaks up the lines. So I'm just going to try to get it a little bit out of the way. And we're pretty far back, so it's okay if it's not perfect in my mind. Good, just like that, 8205. So this one's out of focus, but a little more intentional. There we go. Just gonna warm that up. Good, great. Um, this one is definitely unintended. Her hair was whipping around and really, really pulling the focus of my camera around. But I kind of love it. And, I think do whatever you want. As long as you're maybe also delivering sharp images of your client, or at least in your client expectations, if people know that, like, that's your vibe, is getting those in between, um, more candid, messy looking photos. I mean, messy in a good way. You know what I mean, photographer terms. So these ones, I'm obsessed with this. We were kind of on a bank and like moving really fast, and I wish I would have taken the time to get a little more flatter ground and get that horizon pre-editing pretty straight, so I didn't have to crop so much, but I think it still works. So just for the sake of it, I'm just going to pull this out and just make this image even more strong and focused on the couple. I think I'm going to pull up the shadows just a little bit, and I'm going to dehaze just a little bit. Oh, I'm obsessed with this picture. So fun. Great. This one, I think I'll make a virtual copy and turn it as well. Okay. Yeah, that looks great. It's not completely centered. There. And then here's a little example of bad light. But I think this is super cute. The beach was so cold, and so they snuggled up together. And I think what I'm going to do is with AI's or with Lightroom's new AI tools, it's so easy to kind of like detract from. There's a lot going on back here, right? So let's give AI a try. Let's do background. and see what happens. Maybe it'll get it. Maybe it won't. Yep, did pretty good. Okay, turn off the red so we can see what we're doing. And I'm just gonna kind of, yeah, I think, and then the contrast a little and keep on going. I just think that and whites too. I think that looks a lot better and it really like brings them out more. Um, Perfect. I think that's good. Okay, so there's a little engagement gallery sneak peek that I've edited. So from here, I'll take these photos and when I export them, I will rename them to their names, engagement session, and I will upload things that way. Make sure to rename your photos. It'll help you if you throw them on the web for SEO. And I think it also looks a little bit cleaner than just some numbers. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Please always feel free to DM me or email me if you have any questions. And if you want to dive further into your editing workflow and the general workflows of your business, I have my coaching programs, and those are available right now.